Om Shanti. Om Shanti. Dr. Sachin, what is your name here? So I can make you co-host.
Okay. My name is written there, Sachin Parab.
Okay, got it. Okay, I will make you co-host. Thank you so much. Okay. So welcome everyone. We are having a wonderful evening. It's so amazing. It is a morning already in India. And maybe it is almost afternoon or a noon time in Australia. So when we see this globe and the situation of the globe and the vastness of the globe and the big energy zone of the globe, then perhaps it will be very easy for us to become free from guilt. This bigger picture we see, it gives us total new dimension and it creates new consciousness. So we all are, with all the love, all the respect, all the honor, welcoming our wonderful, knowledgeable, enlightened brother, Dr. Sachin Bhai. He has such a good combination of medical science and spiritual science. So I will not take much time. We all are ready to get the words of wisdom. So whoever will feel comfortable, can we say welcome, Dr. Sachin? Please unmute.
Om Shanti.
Shanti,
Om Shanti. Welcome, Dr. Sachin.
Om Shanti.
Welcome, brother.
Om Shanti. Welcome,
Om
brother.
Shanti. Welcome.
Om Shanti.
And our sister Hema from Anubhuti Center.
Shanti.
She will be welcoming Dr. Sachin. Hema Ben, welcome. You will welcome Dr. Sachin, please.
Welcome, भाई साहब, हार्दिक वेलकम है ना बाबा की फुलवाड़ी में जो बाबा ने आपके अंदर इतना सारा भरा है तो सचमुच हम सब धन्य हो जाएंगे. So thank you so much, भाई साहब.
Welcome to Vancouver as well.
Yes, sister from Vancouver, our Dr. Claudia is also welcoming. And then our sister Vaishali is with us. Vaishali, when you want to say a couple of words, Vaishali Ben will be asking certain questions in the end. And Dr. Anu also, you can also ask any questions that can help you and the audience both, okay?
Om Shanti, Sachin Bhai, so happy to see you. Welcome. Shanti.
Yeah.
Om Shanti Bhaiji. Now I know that with you are picking up from our past sessions, and if people have continued the journey, it's going to be very interesting. And it was very nice that you have been attending even Avdesh Sharma's past 2 series. So thank you so much for being with us on this journey for this whole month, and welcome. So we are looking forward to hear from you.
Okay, so I will mute myself and Dr. Sachin will start and we all will be on the wonderful journey.
Should I start the session? Am I audible?
Yes.
Okay. At the outset, I thank Hansa Ben and all the instruments for giving me this opportunity to share my views and thoughts on the subject. I don't know how these subjects came to your mind, but they are my favorite subjects, both of them, guilt and fear. Because since last 25 years, I'm doing counseling for addicts and has been instrumental for this addiction service in India. And being a therapeutic counselor, I get a lot of cases which have these two emotions very common. I think I have 45 minutes to speak, followed by a question answer. So I'll be showing you some of the slides and we'll go as per the slides. Just let me know if the screen is visible. Is the screen visible?
Not yet, Mr. Sachin, not yet.
Okay.
We can see it now.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, so guilt, as we all have, most probably have experienced some part of the time in our life, we are going to see first emotions, because it's a type of emotion, people say feeling. Some basic about the emotions, what psychology says or the science says, they are energy in our body. Some people like to use the word positive and negative. Rather than using the word positive or negative, I use from therapeutic side healthy or unhealthy, or how useful they are or not useful. So because positive and negative word carry certain connotations. Emotions, some people use the word negative, but I feel if they are not there in our life, we would miss the important feedback mechanism which they are giving us. Emotions tells us about how we interpret the situation. When the situation comes in our life, either it's an opportunity or a threat, and it is the interpretation by us which is very significant and important. And this word interpretation, please keep it in your mind, because this word is the key word in changing the situations, any type of emotions which are not helpful to us. As per certain studies, it has shown that emotion comes very quickly, as the word suggests, energy in motion. They come within 6 seconds, 6 seconds. Started.
Excuse me, Dr. Sachin, your voice is flickering, isn't clear. Maybe your mic you want to adjust. Thank you.
Now, the same thing is here. Your voice is also flickering to me. I don't know how it is happening, but I'll change the earphone and I'll connect a simple earphone through which maybe you will be able to hear it.
Yeah, that will be helpful. Thank you, Doctor.
You're not audible. Earlier it was fine.
हम आपको नहीं सुन पा रहे हैं भाई जी. आपकी शेयर देख स्क्रीन शेयरिंग देख रहे हैं, आपका आवाज नहीं आ रहा है.
You are not audible, Sachin bhai. Not audible.
We all will do little meditation. By the time these technical things will be taken care.
Brother, you can try removing the earphone maybe. Yeah, we can't hear you.
I think somebody needs to message or text or chat. Probably brother might be not getting the message.
अभी मेरा आवाज आ रहा है? Am I audible?
हाँ, अभी आ रहा है.
हाँ जी, अभी right, very good.
So I don't know what happened. आप लोगों का आवाज, your voice is getting broken up. I am not able to hear your voice.
ठीक है, अभी शुरू कर दीजिए भाई साहब, अभी आवाज एकदम क्लियर है.
बहुत अच्छा है.
Thank you very much, and sorry for that inconvenience. I don't know how many people got disturbed because of this inconvenience.
No, no, fine, fine.
No one.
Okay, so emotions are basically a feedback loop mechanism which is given to us by nature, and we should not suppress, repress, or deny emotions, but acknowledge, understand, and express appropriately. So that is basic about the emotions. So emotions are not negative; they are very important part of our life. Let's come to the guilt, which is damaging in some people. Guilt can be unrelenting source of pain, keep us stuck up in past. Some people, they get stuck up in the guilt and prevent us from being present and loving ourselves and others. Guilt can be in our unconscious, and we condemn ourselves not once but over and over. There is one word used in psychology, for certain people who keeps on producing guilt again and again, they say it is a guilt machine. Some people are like guilt machine. And we have heard the word pleaded for guilty. Guilt seeks punishment. This word is used in the court or in the law. Medically, guilt can produce anxiety, depression, OCD, that is obsessive compulsive disorder, and the host of other mental disorder. And it is really ironical that some people believe that guilt is the cause of mental stress and others believe that it is protective in nature. We are going to see how it is protective in nature. So guilt can be protective, punitive, or developmental in nature. What is guilt? Guilt, every word in this definition is very important. Guilt is defined as a cognitive, means at something at the level of the brain, or an emotional experience at the level of feeling and emotion that occurs when a person realizes or believes accurately or not that he or she has compromised his or her own standards of conduct. There are certain standards of conduct which he or she has violated, usually moral standards, and bears a significant responsibility for that violation. So there are 2-3 components. One, it is cognitive or at the level of heart, head and heart. A person realizes or believes that he has violated something and is responsible for that violation. In simple word, going against your personal or societal moral standards. But there are certain words which goes with guilt, so we need to understand those words also. The shame and guilt, they usually go together, but there is a difference between shame and guilt. And some cultures or even some religions are shame based rather than guilt based. Shame, the principal difference is shame is more blame others and guilt is more blaming the self. You must have heard this word excommunicate or disown or stone someone because he or she has done something immoral. Guilt is a prison, it's a trap that keeps you bound or unchanged. Person in guilt is trapped all the time, and there are these 3 things which comes with guilt. So because unfortunately some people use these words instead or in addition to guilt, and these words like guilt and shame, along with guilt, this remorse, regret and repentance comes, and we need to differentiate between these words. I'm not here as a grammar expert, but I think we should differentiate so that we can label our feelings, what we are feeling. Remorse is a sorrow which engulfs us emotionally, leaving us feeling sad, depressed, hopeless, and unchanged, which can happen to certain people of guilt. Regret, we have heard this word when we are traveling. The airline agency says that we regret to announce the delay in the flight, so and so. So regret is a self-pity that is focused more on your personal loss rather on the loss you caused to the others. Repentance is used in certain religion or spirituality for transformation, that you should repent the wrongdoings or something which you have done which you should not do. And when genuine repentance occurs, person, heart, body, mind changes person's life. So repentance is a step which is seen for transformation. Let's see how this is related to the guilt. Regarding the types of guilt, I was also shocked when I started studying that there are 23 types of guilt, and I cannot finish these 23 types here. 23 types of guilt. I'm not going to finish, I'm not going to touch this, but it ranges. I will talk about the range from a simple negative thought to killing someone. I have seen so many cases of guilt. Of course, being a counselor, I get cases from BK organization and those from public. So recently I have these cases of guilt because of death of a patient, a doctor, because I come in contact with doctors. So death of the patient during operation or a relative during procedure. One doctor I have whose son has died because the doctor was busy with his practice and thought that he will take his son to the specialist next day. But within that 24 hours, the son has died, the only son. And you can imagine the amount of guilt that doctor is going through. That thought keeps on coming to the doctor's mind again and again. It is because of my delay that my son has died. And that guilt is keeping on coming to him or that person. One shocking incident happened in Mumbai, India, that one vascular surgeon, now imagine a vascular surgeon who is operating the patients, who cuts the vessel. One person came to the operation theater walking on his feet. He had varicose veins, and while doing his operation, accidentally a bigger vessel was cut and that patient has died on the table. And when doctor came out of the operation theater, the mother of that son asked the doctor, what happened? The patient walked into the operation theater. Did this one thought push that person in the guilt? This doctor, who was very sensitive, went to the hostel room and committed suicide. So guilt can do such damage, death by vehicular accident. I have seen people who come to me with guilt because they met with an accident because of whatever reasons, and the other person is handicapped for whole life. Now this is also guilt. I have very spiritually advanced people who come to me and they get guilt when they produce a negative thought about other person. Even the producing a negative thought about other person produces a guilt in that person, because they feel that they have violated certain standards which they are not supposed to. They go against their conscience. I have people who get guilt because they have to eat food from outside, because they believe that we should not eat food from outside, and when we have to eat food from hotel, we have violated our standards, our conscience bites. So they go into the guilt by eating food outside. I have seen children who get guilt because they get less marks. There is something known as manipulation by parents. They use guilt as a weapon against the children. And I have seen parents who are constantly telling their children, you enjoy, we are dying for you for your exam, while paying your class fees and everything, and you enjoy, you don't study. Now this is a sarcastic remark which is sent to a sensitive child. That child goes into the guilt that parents are working very hard for me and I am not able to come up to the expectation of my parent. So getting less marks can also produce a guilt. Now I have people who usually get up at 4 o'clock in the morning, and now some of them have got psychological problem. Like some of them are in depression. Now these are very good people. They are very nice people. They have very beautiful conscience. But because of the medicines which they are taking for depression, these medicines, they cause excessive sleep. So because of this medicine, they are not able to get up at 4 a.m. in the morning, and these people go into the guilt. So I have these cases also that people go into the guilt because they miss their meditation time. I have mothers who are working in corporates and they say they feel guilty because they are not able to give adequate time to their children, and they have to keep their children for babysitting. So these mothers are going into the guilt. I have people under temptation violating the rules, and they go into the guilt. So these are all guilts, example of guilts which I have come across, and how we treat them when such patients come to us. The most accepted theory for the guilt is this theory. We call psychodynamic theory. And in this theory, as per this theory, okay, there are 3 principles. We call id, ego, and superego. Sorry. Okay. So these are the 3 we can call forces within us. One is child, the other is adult, and the third one is parent. So parent, child, and adult. Now how guilt is produced as per this theory. This is most acceptable theory of moral conscience. The conscience principle is the morality principle is the parent within us. The child is who is having instinctual desires, and adult is the reality principles which settles the conflict between the child and the parent. Let's take the example. The child wants a chocolate, and the child is having the problems with the teeth. Because of chocolate, the child has a lot of caries, we call hole in the teeth, and he's suffering, but still he needs a chocolate and he demands chocolate, and that parent principle, morality principle, or super ego we call it, says no, you won't have a chocolate. So the conflict starts between child and parent. In the end, that child puts so much pressure on the super ego that he goes and buys a chocolate and eats the chocolate. Now because of this action, the guilt is produced because parent doesn't feel good. This is a simple example which I have taken. You have to just replace this chocolate with all the acts person is doing because of he or she feels the guilt. Replace that chocolate with a person or a food or with action. The same principle. There is a conscience in our ourself we call super ego, which has very high standards. So I gave you example from a negative thought to hurting someone or killing someone unknowingly. Anything can produce guilt by violating that standard. Now this guilt which keeps on coming in some people again and again, and they are not able to stop that guilt. So guilt comes when we go against our moral conscience. Now let's come to the solution. If you want to overcome guilt, these three words you remember. I say act. Act in the face of any negative emotions or energy which is not helping you. So this every word has got some meaning. We'll go into the depth of it. A for awareness, acknowledging, and acceptance. The key word I feel here is the awareness and acknowledging that I have this feeling, because most of the people who come to us, they are in denial mode. They don't accept that they have problem and they don't want to show it. Awareness has got a different energy. In spirituality, we say all problems are because of unawareness. Awareness is like something, a light which is thrown in a darkness. The moment light comes, the darkness goes. And this is the beauty of awareness. Become aware not only of the feelings, but the source of the feeling, where this guilt started. You have to go slightly deeper, the roots of the guilt, how it has started, what makes you feel guilty. Go to the source, how the guilt has started, and acknowledge it. And the beauty of acceptance is that the moment you accept, the energy is transformed. Second is communicate and channelize your energy. In certain religious practices, they talk to the God. Even in meditation, we talk to the God, or whomsoever we believe as the supreme source or the higher source or higher consciousness. It is talking which is very important, communicating your feelings. So when you communicate or you express, as I said in the earlier slide, you have to express your feeling, why you are feeling that way. And then channelize that energy in a positive direction. We'll see how to channelize. And T for transform by taking responsibility. See what happens, why person is stuck up in guilt feeling, because he's constantly blaming himself for something he has done, he or she has done or not done. Guilt is not always by doing. Even if you don't do certain things, then also people feel guilty. So he's stuck up. The guilt is person is stuck up in the past. The act that keeps on coming to his or her mind again and again. And the person feels remorseful or whatever, all those negative shades of emotions we have seen. So taking responsibility means talking to yourself that I have created this feeling of guilt within me. I am responsible for my thoughts, feelings, and emotions. And for transformation, we have to go beyond this. And how to do that? This we use in counseling. We call ABC model of CBT. ABC model is very famous in counseling. ABC is A for activating event, B for belief, and C for consequences. Something which has happened, we say that it's because of this which has happened, I'm feeling like this. It is because of this accident and that person has died or has become handicapped that I am feeling guilty. No, there is something known as B in between A and C. And that B is the belief. The example which I have taken here is failure in the exam. My parents will lose the respect in the society if I fail. That is the belief. And this belief is creating this negative feeling. So, for management of guilt or freedom from guilt, you have to change that belief which is creating that, or we say in other words, your moral standards or the value system. Take steps. And what steps we have to take? And this is the step. I call it Om power. And this is a very powerful thing. I think this will help, or this has helped many people or patients which has come to me, and they accept these facts that our awareness, understanding, and might, these three things keeps on changing. So whatever you have done in the past, which makes you feel guilty now, so that moment when that action was done, whether it is doing something in temptation or consciously or unconsciously doing something against your conscience, it was your level of awareness at that moment. But that moment, your level of awareness and understanding made you do that thing. But now, your level of awareness, understanding, and might has changed. So when we look at that situation from current perspective or current level of consciousness, it becomes very easy for me to accept it and let it go. The suffering in guilt is because I am not able to forgive myself. In Vihasa, we have one session we take. Vihasa is values in healthcare. In that, there is one exercise in mistakes. And in mistakes, we give this thought that guilt or any other negative emotions I have been holding within me for quite some time. So all those people who feel guilty, they have to ask this to themselves. Sitting in silence, talk to themselves and ask yourself that I have been holding on to this negative feeling of guilt for quite some time. How it has helped me? Has it helped me in improving myself? So the moment you ask this question to yourself, that I have been holding on to this feeling of guilt for quite some time and it has not helped me, how long I am going to hold on to these feelings of guilt? So when I realize this, see, realization at this moment by asking yourself these questions. Some people call it Socrates questions. Keep on asking yourself, is it helping me, this guilt feeling? I have been holding on to these feelings of guilt and it has not helped me. It has in fact led me into feeling unworthy. I am not a good person. I am a bad person. These feelings have come to me, and this is typically what I have seen in patients of depression and anxiety. The bottom line is they feel that they are not good person. They are not worthy person because they have violated certain moral conscience. So ask yourself, is it serving me? And the moment the answer comes from within, no, it has not helped me. Since it has not helped me and it is not serving me any purpose, I consciously is releasing these feelings of guilt to the higher power. There is some one word which you people must be more aware of. They call it confessing into the higher authority or confessing to the higher sources. Here, the patient come to us and they confess to us. They talk to us, I have done this. Please forgive me. They asked the God or higher consciousness about forgiveness. In psychology, we say you yourself realize that you have done this and you have been holding on to this. You have suffered a lot because of this and it has not helped you. So now consciously release that because you are holding it. You have to let it go. And people who are not able to let it go, they suffer a lot. And this is the crux of freedom from the long held guilt within me. And this I called self-forgiveness. Some people are not able to forgive themselves for whatever reasons. And by holding on to this guilt, they feel that they are paying for the karma which they have done. Now this is very subtle. This is a personality, or we call it trait, personality trait. There are two words in psychology, trait and trait. People with this trait, they feel that they should get punishment for the act which they have done. And they feel that I must punish myself all the time for this. How can I do this? And this is where the ego has come in. Because that ego or body consciousness or whatever you call it, in India we call ahankar. So that ego, ahankar, body consciousness, whatever you label it, I-ness, which tells you again and again that you have to suffer because of this act. You should get punishment because of this act. This is one word we call self-accusation. Self-accusation. This person of guilt is accusing him or her again and again, which I use the word guilt machine. And person feels good. Now, unfortunately, a stage comes where the person feels good by feeling guilty. Because he or she feels that by feeling guilty, he's getting the punishment. This is very subtle and really not good. And this makes that person to stay in that guilt prison for longer time. And that's how in meditation, when we sit and we talk to our own self, I ask them, okay, whatever you have done knowingly or unknowingly in the past, ask yourself, you have been holding on to these feelings of guilt or whatever other associated shades of guilt like shame or remorse and all those feelings. Is it helping you at this moment? And this I'm talking is again of the level of cognition or understanding, which I said they used a word earlier, interpretation. So am I interpreting the situation that I am the one who should get punishment for this? And second thought which I gave to these people is that by having this feeling which is not helpful to you, by having this feeling which is not helpful to you, are you able to grow in your life? So will you grow with the guilt or will you grow with the self-forgiveness? So I give them choice. And then still some people go back to the guilt. They think guilt is the mechanism to come out of it. And this is where the protective factor of the guilt, some people are saying, unless you feel guilt, you will not change. Unless you feel guilt about whatever you have done. Now there, rather than guilt, I would say you are learning a lesson from the event which has happened in your life. You don't use a guilt. a person with very good self-respect or good self-esteem will not go into the guilt. He or she will feel that, yes, I have violated my standards of living or codes of conduct, but why should I go in guilt because of this? Accept that I have violated, I have learned a lesson, I will be attentive next time, I will pay attention next time, and I will see to it that I don't repeat these things which I have done now. So when you take corrective steps, then that guilt, so-called guilt, becomes a protective in nature. So that is the concept about the guilt. And if you want to be free from the guilt, then you have to go within yourself, identify your belief patterns which are holding you from forgiving yourself, challenge those belief patterns. And the moment you challenge them, you come to know your inner discomfort. You come to know that, yes, they are not allowing me to forgive myself. And when you are not able to face them, that uncomfort or anxiety, stay with that anxiety, because this is where the transformation is going to happen. It is not easy to free from these feelings of guilt. It takes quite some time for some people, because that bottom line, that I am not worthy, I am unworthy, I have done something which I should not have done, that stays in certain people for quite some time. And slowly, what I have seen in meditation, they realize that they are holding on to this feeling for quite some time. This realization will take you beyond the guilt or make you free from the guilt. And the moment they realize that I have the power, I have been holding on to this, I can let it go. So this self-forgiveness makes you free from the guilt, and then you are out of it. That can take 1 month for a person, or it can take 2 months, 3 months. I have people who frequently go into the guilt trip. We call, some people use it for manipulation of their children or subordinates. So some people have this repeated patterns, especially people with OCD. I don't know how many of you have heard this word OCD. OCD is obsessive compulsive disorder. So these people, they have this thought again and again, it comes to their mind, and they damage themselves through these guilt producing thoughts. So if you want to get freedom from the guilt, the bottom line is becoming aware of yourself, becoming aware of your belief patterns, and consciously, with your willpower or higher power, people surrender to the higher power, release those feelings of guilt and replace them with self-acceptance. And then only the person can be free of guilt. But I have seen it takes time in people. As I told you earlier, it may take 1 to 3 months to be free from the guilt, and provided the person is ready to accept the guilt. So I would like to stop here and have questions if anyone has.
Om Shanti. If any one of you have question, you can write your question in the chat box. So meanwhile, thank you so much. And a couple of things, it just kind of like hit me in my head where you said that self-accusation. And I think so that's what people unknowingly or knowingly do. And it kinds of nowadays a lot of people, Dr. Sachin Parab comes when they come for the Raj Yoga meditation course, they are not able to meditate just because of this guilt.
Okay.
And it kind of takes a lot of time to come out of guilt and just focus on that supreme being, because as you mentioned, that if you want to surrender, or if you want to even get the help from the supreme, what are the practical simple tips someone can start with?
Is it a question?
Yes. What are the
Yeah.
practical simple tips when a soul is suffering from that constant thoughts? Because guilt also, it comes in the form of thoughts, negative emotion. The negative emotion is the source, is the thoughts. So we have a lot of people come with this question that because I have done this in the past, because my family surrounding people say that you are not good enough, and then I see myself as that, and then when they try to visualize something better about themselves, it's kind of takes, it's a lot of conflict within, you know. So how do we help those souls in such situation?
This is what I talked. It is very difficult for these people to come out because their belief system tells them that you have done something which has, now I use two words if you observe me, shame based and guilt based. Okay, some religions are shame based and some are guilt based, and these are very deep rooted beliefs within the self. So unless that person forgives the self, now self or guilt, freedom from guilt is all about self forgiveness. Here what you are saying, that person is not able to forget, it means he is not able to forgive himself or herself whatever has happened. And the forgiveness can only come, like I give a classical example. I am a doctor. When patients come to me because of say gastroenteritis or some infection, I don't make them feel guilty. You don't understand. You can't pay attention to your hygiene. You have eaten outside. So I don't accuse them. I see them as patients, and my job is to treat them. So a doctor who accuses patient, he is not helping that patient. So similarly, when something like this comes, look yourself as a patient, that it was not under your control. When I said the the Om power means it was not under your control, because that time, whatever you have done, it was your need in that moment. It was needed because your awareness was there. That time, that was your level of awareness. That's why you have done it. See, most of the criminals who are in the jails, I have traveled to most of the jails in India for sessions, and I meet people who have done murders, and they are educated people. One was principal of a school who committed this crime. So I asked them, sir, you are from good family, you are educated, how can you do this? Then they said, sir, we are from good family, we have good sanskars or habits, but I don't know what happened in that moment of the heat. In that moment of heat, the things have happened, and now I regret. So it is that moment where we are not aware, we are not in our best of ourselves. So it has happened. So it is not our fault. Please understand, it is not your fault, because that was the need of that moment based on your level of awareness, understanding, and the power you have. So you thought for that moment this is the right thing to do. Now retrospectively we look at that situation, you are seeing that situation, I should not have done like that, but that you are thinking now. But that moment, that was your level of awareness. So when we look at that, and then we say, okay, that was the need and that was my level of awareness. Now I have improved upon myself. It is enough. I have suffered a lot. Now this feeling is not helping me in anyone. I want to improve myself. So whatever these feelings, they must come out. And that's why I use the word communicate. So communication is not only verbal, it can be in writing. We say in psychology, journaling. The moment I have seen many people getting cured of guilt by writing a letter to God. We use this project in India, letter to God. And many people have written so many letters to God. We have prepared a book, 100 pages book. Every day they write a letter to God. And whatever they have done, the moment they write, they say something is going away from us. It's like someone is taking our negativity from us. So this our project, we have finished 1 lakh letters, letter to God. All over India, various states, especially in Mumbai and Maharashtra, but other states of India also. 1 lakh letters have been written, and they are very interesting letters, but they are confidential, so I cannot disclose it. But what I'm telling you, this writing a letter has helped many people to come out of this. They feel that these feelings are going away from us. So just by talking, they feel relieved. See, I am a professional therapeutic counselor. Many people, when they come to us, you know what my role is? We use one word, empathetic listening. I just do like this. Okay, acha, okay, okay. So you felt like this. Okay, okay. Now say, oh, this has happened. Oh, they sit with me for 45 minutes. At the end of 45 minutes, they say, doctor, now I'm feeling good. So what has happened? They have emptied themselves. They have emptied themselves, what was there, which was eating, and I give them empathetic energy. And now this is subtly which is happening. This is a relationship between a counselor and counselee. And they don't know what we are doing, being a meditation practitioner. I'm looking that person as a beautiful child of God all the time. And this is a beautiful creation of God which is sitting in front of me, confessing whatever has happened, and that person gets transformed. Just by listening, that person is transformed. And then I encourage that soul, okay, then I share my experience, how being a doctor, being a meditative practitioner, what mistakes I am doing in my practice, or what has happened. The moment I see they look at me and they say, Acha, you are a doctor, you are a spirit, and you are also doing this. So that's what, then I tell them, see, we are human beings. And then I tell them about this Om power. Unless we have power, we cannot overcome these temptations or the mistakes. We need power to this. And the source of power is Almighty. And then we connect to the power, and then that power comes, and then it becomes easier for them to accept and let it go.
So, doctor, that because our topic is like kind of about the consciousness, awaken our consciousness. So there is a question, and there are a couple of questions, but I'm like incorporating in one question, that there are certain deep-seated guilt in our consciousness, or in, they say, in unconscious mind. So how that our deep-seated guilt is connected, and which we don't know, it just, as you said right now, it that person, he just killed somebody and he is a principal of the school or college. So those deep-seated, those ego-related issues and guilt-related issues, how you, if you bring it out, it doesn't benefit you, isn't it? Like, is it okay to bring those guilt, and to cure, as you said, to cure, you have to write something. And if we are writing something, are you not reliving it?
Okay. When something goes in our body, you know, we learn so many things from this physical body. The beauty of this physical body is that this body is throwing unwanted things which are not required. Suppose we eat food. Whatever food we are eating, in 24 hours, it throws out all the waste material. Okay. Now, whatever liquids we are taking, water or juices or soups, in 4 to 6 hours, that is thrown out of the body. Even the breath which we are taking, the moment you take oxygen, you throw out carbon dioxide immediately. Now imagine in certain diseases, these waste products are not thrown out of body. What will happen? So nature is telling us, don't keep these things. Even I'll give you a simple example. Some people eat outside in a hotel. They have eaten something and something has gone in their stomach, which has irritated the stomach. So now what is the body's mechanism? Body will either vomit or it will pass through the stool. So the person either will have vomiting or the person will have diarrhea. So what body is doing? Body is throwing them out.
Throwing it out.
So keeping them inside is not a good way, because that's what nature is teaching us. Even in our spirituality, it is told why this thing of confessing to God has come, because you're taking it out. Anything which is not helpful to you, if you keep within yourself, it is going to affect you. It will interfere with your performance, with yourself, with others, in relationships, or in all the spheres of life. So deep-seated guilt, the moment you say deep-seated guilt or hidden, it means you are agreeing that you are not aware of something which is there within you. There is something within you which you are not aware of. When you say it is hidden, hidden means I am not aware of. And this is the beauty of meditation or self-reflection, that the moment you become aware and the moment you realize it, you no longer are going to keep it. See, I'll give you a simple example. The moment you are realizing they are holding on to hot coal, a hot burning coal in your hand, what you will do? Imagine you are holding on to a hot burning coal in your hand. What you are going to do with that coal?
We're going to throw off.
You will immediately drop it down. And this is exactly what happens. This is exactly what happens when the person in awareness or in meditation realizes that, oh, I'm holding on to these things and this is damaging me. Forget about helping, this is damaging me. So I am letting it go. The letting it go happens naturally. There is no force. There is no force involved. See, all the addicts which have come to me, they were very deep rooted. Addiction is a very deep rooted way. It changes the brain and the mind both, because there are certain paths created in the brain and the person cannot stay without that addiction. And you know, I remember one person who has come to me with 22 years of addiction, smoking alcohol and ganja. I don't know, you know ganja, what they call it, weed,
Marijuana.
maybe marijuana. Yeah. So ganja and charas and all those hard drugs also. And he used to be in gutter after taking the alcohol. This person, after coming to Brahma Kumaris, within 7 days, he quit his addiction. And we doctors are taught that when a chronic addict comes to you, he gets withdrawal. But this gentleman was not having any withdrawal. He was absolutely fine in 7 days. So I was shocked, because it was going against our teachings and upbringing in medical science. So I asked that gentleman, brother, you had this addiction of 22 years. You used to beat your wife and children under the effect of alcohol, and now you have quit and you don't have any complaints. So what made you to quit? And why you are not suffering? And then he used only one word. He said, Dr. Saab, when I came to Brahma Kumaris, I did this course and I realized that I am a divine soul. I am a deity in the golden age and I cannot do these things. Now imagine what has happened. His consciousness was awakened. And the word used for this is, some people use the word is supraconscious. Supraconscious is the divinity within all of us. The moment this supraconscious is awakened, you don't have to drop any negativity, it automatically drops. And this is the beauty of spiritual practices. So if you want to remove that deep hidden guilt or any negative feeling, just become conscious of the mechanism which is happening. That's why I consciously gave you that chart, id, ego and super ego, so that you become aware of your mechanism and you realize that you are accusing yourself, you are beating yourself, you are hitting yourself. The moment you realize that it is you who is doing it and you are not benefiting from it, the moment you are able to maintain the distance from your feelings, thought, and you are able to maintain distance, we use the word in India sakshi, or in English we say detach awareness. The moment you are able to detach yourselves from these thoughts, feelings, immediately you feel powerful. Immediately you feel powerful, and it can happen in moments. And I have hundreds of cases who have quit addictions and come out of this. And this is possible, that deep-rooted guilt or negative feelings, the moment you practice this detached awareness. And detached awareness gives you power and ability to let go the old things. And the transformation happens.
Anuban, you have question?
Oh, I actually asked that, yeah, it's very nice how guilt really stops us or blocks us from changing. But I wanted to ask about this obsessive compulsion disorder, that the obsession and then they cannot stop and they do it. They get compelled to do the action. So, like, do you have example that meditation has helped people? They have stopped. OCD had been helped through meditation.
I think doctors and medical fraternity need to challenge their beliefs. Like it was, I just share with you now, it was our belief that when a chronic addict quits, he should have a withdrawal symptoms. That is our belief. And we have done, along with myself and Dr. Avdesh Sharma, we are investigators of a study in which we have evaluated 1,000 patients and we have seen minimal withdrawal or no withdrawal. Because that is contrary to what we are taught as a doctors. Similarly, in OCD, it is being taught to us that OCD is very difficult to treat. Now, this is also a belief, difficult to treat. Or there is one word they use in English, they say incurable hai. Ye lifelong rahega, it will stay lifelong. Now you need to change because these your vibrations goes to the patient. When a person comes to you with OCD and he's saying, sir, I get these thoughts again and again and I do these acts again and again, and you're thinking, oh, it is a incurable disease. In mind, you're talking to yourself. You are reaffirming your belief that ye to theek hone wala nahi hai. This patient cannot be cured. And this thought of the healer is interfering with the healing of other person. Are you getting? So first challenge this belief, number one. Number two, as I told you, all of these disorders are there. The root cause as per spirituality is identification with something. You are identifying yourself with particular thought or brain or something. I know as a doctor, we are taught that there are certain parts of the brain which are involved in OCD, or there is a groove which is created in the brain which forces people to act in a certain way. Like I'll tell you a very difficult case. Unfortunately, that girl came to me very late. This is a very common OCD of person feels that he or she will catch infection through the dirt. Now you're sitting on a table and if you touch that table, a thought comes to your mind that my hand has become dirty. And my hand has become dirty, so I must wash my hand. So that person is repeatedly washing the hand. Now that I can understand. I have patients jinka skin By repeated washing, they have removed the skin of their hand, but they are still washing. But this case which I am talking about is such a severe case. Unfortunately, that girl came very late that their parents also cannot touch her, because the moment parent touch her, she becomes dirty. Now she has to use, you will be shocked to hear this case, she was using 5 liters of Dettol every day to wash herself. Now their parents, if they want to touch her, they have to take bath. Then only they can touch her. Otherwise, they cannot touch her. Now on top of that, being female, she had monthly cycles. So when her monthly cycle comes, she becomes height of dirtiness. And because of that, she used to take medicines to stop those cycles. Now she was so much disturbed, she was following up psychiatrist. In the end, psychiatrist was also fed up, and he said the only way to come out of this dirt is remove your uterus. So this girl's uterus was removed at the age of 26. This havoc can be created by OCD. So OCD is not an ordinary disease. I know this. And these cases, we call them refractory cases. Refractory means not responding to any treatment, whether it is medicine or, but this is extreme. What I'm telling you, commonest things which come to me is this hand washing wala business. They are constantly washing their hands. Or cleanliness. So for this, you need to understand the mechanism of OCD. OCD has two components. One is obsession and the other is compulsion. Obsession is a thought which comes to you and tells you that dirty ho gaya. It's dirty. So obsession, dirty ho gaya. So you to remove that obsession, you do certain things we call compulsion. So compulsion relieves you of the anxiety. Now the trick of managing OCD is let that person stay in obsession for some time. Let him feel the anxiety. Don't go for relieving the anxiety. Now this is tricky and some people become uncomfortable. But yes, that is the treatment. That person is not developing the strength to stay with the dirt. So what I do, we use one technique in psychology, we call it systematic desensitization. So if the person is having obsession with cleanliness, I ask him to sit with me on the table. I put some anything which makes the table dirty. I put my hands on it. I ask that person to put his hands, his or her, and that person starts shaking. And that anxiety, because now the dirt has come, this will go in my body and I'll fall sick. I ask him to stay with that condition. This is graded. Mana, you give that dose which makes you anxious. Let that person stay with that anxiety. And slowly that person starts staying with that anxiety without doing the compulsion. Are you getting what I'm saying? It is graded technique which we call systematic desensitization, and then he realizes, okay, my hand is dirty, but I'm not suffering because of it. I had anxiety and I can tolerate this anxiety for some time, but I don't have to wash it. I can be with it. Now this is extreme I talk. We don't go just like that to the extreme. We go step by step, and it can take 5 sittings, 6 sittings. So the OCD ka treatment is that obsessing thought which comes, just observe that thought from a side, like we call detached awareness. You just observe it. That thought is creating anxiety within that person. And it is forcing that person to do certain acts which will relieve the anxiety. So I teach him, stay with that thought of anxiety for some time. And this is the treatment for most of the mental disorders, detached awareness. And again, I'm telling you, the root of all the problem is identifying with these thoughts and feelings. one last thought I would like to share is many people feel bad about themselves, sad about themselves. I am not a good. I said detach yourself from that thought or feeling. You are not every thought. Every thought is not true. Every feeling is not true. But people think that since I'm feeling not good, I must be that person. You know, they take it retrospectively in a negative way. If I am not feeling good about myself, then I must be a bad person. So feelings say they go reverse and they give judgment to the self that I am a bad person because I feel bad. I must, and in India we say, मैंने बहुत सारे पाप कर्म किए हैं. I am a sinner. Now this is also a bottom line in some religions that you are a sinner. That's why these thoughts come to you. Now this thought or belief is not helping that person. So you have to detach yourself from that thought or feeling. That detachment gives the power. And if the person can detach, his OCD will go down slowly. At least he'll respond to the medicine. But overall, what your question I can understand, our statistics says that only 20% people come out of OCD. Most of them, they stay with it. That is our clinical practice which is telling. But I'm telling you success stories. Success stories, the people who have come out of OCD is only because of detached observation, which gives them a power.
Thank you, Sachin, Dr. Sachin. And I think so we should continue. Let me talk to Hansaben because we have a lot of questions and your knowledge is like, I think that we can sit here and just listen to you on and on and on. It's so wonderful to have you with us. And yes, there is a question about the recording. So we do have a recording. We do have a live Facebook too. So you will find recording once it's available after editing. So thank you so much, Hansaben.
Yes, actually we are very much interested to continue it, but I'm not sure how everybody feels, and we don't know even Dr. Sachin by schedule also. So we have a two option. One is we can continue, or other is we can create another session. Of course, as you all know, we have another session on October 3rd, which is the session on free from fear. And so, but if we want to do this session for guilt situation also, because like somebody said in my family, somebody has ODC, some said how to overcome ego, some said is continue to, we are happy to continue. And then some said in my family, I have a situation, OCD, so what to do, and so forth. So one thing is, what do you think, Dr. Sachin? Would you like to continue for a little more time and answer a few questions? Whoever will be there, those who have other things already planned, they can carry on, continue their schedule. But if those who are really interested, they can continue here also. But first is availability of Dr. Sachin Bhai.
Yes, yes. I'm there.
Okay, you are here and you have some time. Okay.
If I don't answer now, I will get guilt.
Okay, so some have to leave. So, but Dr. Claudia, would you like to make any comments? And fortunately, Sister Chandru is with us and Sukanya Ben from San Francisco. So they can say a few words. They can say a few words, and then we can continue. So Sukanya Ben, are you online? And by the time Sukanya Ben and Chandru Ben can come online, Claudia Ben, you want to make any comments or say thank you to doctor or?
Yeah, well, thank you, Dr. Sachin. It was very nice class. I think we kind of understand more and more because also understand the root of the guilty. And so when we understand, we can help more the other ones. So I just want to see this OCD. I have a question. how can we help someone who has this, feel always not worthy and things like that? How can we make them to grow and get out of these thoughts?
I'm sorry, I could not hear you properly. Can someone type her question? Her pronunciation is foreign to me.
She is saying if somebody feels not worthy, OCD with that kind of thought, how can we help?
So not feeling worthy is an obsession, you are saying. Obsession of not feeling worthy.
Yeah. How can we get to help them without medicine to get out of that?
Yes, and there is no compulsion in that. She doesn't do something to feel worthy. See, usually obsession has got compulsion. Obsession is associated with compulsion. It's a Lakshmi Narayan Jodi. It's husband-wife. They go together always. So obsession usually has compulsion. So when you are saying she has only obsession, then hearty congratulations. Only 50% of the disease. She doesn't have 100% disease. Only it is at the level of thought. Obsession is a thought which keeps on coming again and again. And when a thought keeps on coming again and again, it puts pressure on the indriyas or the karmendriya, we call it in India, to do something to relieve of that obsession. Because obsession is creating anxiety. Obsession usually creates an anxiety. And in your case, what example you have given, that is the most commonest thing, but only few people admit it that they have this. Unfortunately, in educated people, what we have seen, I have many of my clients which are educated. Educated people are very intelligent at masking their disease. We call mask depression. When I see a person coming to me, I see that he's suffering because of depression and he has a problem. And when I ask that soul, what happened? You have any problem? And they say, no, everything is fine. When they say everything is fine, I know there is some problem inside. And we call this denial. And accepting that you have this bottom line feeling is a first step towards healing. See, acceptance that you have a problem is very important. The moment you accept it, it means you are ready to transform, you are ready to change. And someone asked the question of ego. It is our ego which is not allowing us to accept that I am feeling that I am not worthy. Now you have to go to the roots of these thoughts. How this thought has come that you are not worthy? Is it the suggestion which is given by your so-called parents or elderly figure when you were a child? Because most of these complexes we have seen, they have their roots in the childhood, where well-meaning parents, now the intention of parent was good, that he should not do something wrong, but the method which they use was not good. And the method is, you don't deserve to be like this. You are unworthy. You are unworthy person because you have done so things. They use wrong things or wrong messages to their children. And that message has gone deep inside the subconscious, and that child has accepted that as a truth. Since my mother is saying, my father is saying, my teacher is saying that I'm unworthy, it means I must be unworthy. Are you there?
Yeah.
So you have to go to the depth of that thought, how that, where is the origin of that thought that I am unworthy? And now one has to challenge that belief. On what basis you are saying that you are unworthy? See, changing
but
belief.
My question is how to help someone who feels like that. How to help the other one?
We can't help, that person only can help himself or herself. We have to ask this question. That is what we do as a counselor. We don't change the person. We just ask the question. The moment you ask the question, the person starts thinking. Like suppose if I have a patient who feels that he or she is unworthy, I ask them question, okay, what makes you feel that you are unworthy? On what basis? Do you have anything fact concrete which says that because I did this, I'm unworthy? Then then that person starts thinking, okay, what I have done in my life which makes me feel unworthy. Now, by asking this question, I am taking that soul to the root of unworthiness, where it has come from. And suppose someone says that because I have done something which I should not have done, okay, and it is not even once, I have done it multiple times, and because of this act, I am unworthy. Suppose someone has stolen something, okay, I'll take a simple example. This happens in children. There is one disease known as kleptomania. I don't know how many of you have heard about kleptomania. Yeah. Kleptomania is a disease. I was studying in MBBS college. In our college, there was one MBBS student. Now imagine MBBS student is 20 plus. And that girl, she used to pick up our pens, pencil and everything stationery and put her in her locker. So we started observing ki hamara pen ja raha hai, our pens are getting vanished. Where are they going? So we kept a watch on that, and then we realized it is this girl which is picking everyone's pen and pencil. And when we asked her, she said, no, I'm not doing anything. But when we opened her locker, we found all of our pens and pencil in the locker. Now this disease, it's a psychological disease. We call it kleptomania, the habit of picking up the things without asking anyone. Now, this feeling, when that is exposed, now imagine you are unworthy of yourself because you are stealing something. So you take that person to the root, and now you ask that person, okay, this has happened in the past. Now, do you think that this moment you should suffer because something which has happened in the past, or you want to feel good now? You ask questions. Do you want to feel good now? Yes, I want to feel good. Now, how can you feel good? By creating a thought that I am not worthy. Will you feel good? The person said, no, I am not feeling good. Okay, so you are not feeling good by creating the thought that I am unworthy. So which thoughts which will make you feel good and worthy? Okay, if I do this, I will feel worthy. So start doing that, then give her that exercise. Okay, see, it is not in the brain. Some concrete acts has to be done. That's why those people who feel unworthy, the shortcut for them to feel worthy is start doing something selfless acts. The moment you start doing some selfless act, your image about yourself in your eyes will go up. And you will start feeling good that yes, you are a good human being because you are helping others. You are helping others. Okay. And the more you do this, your self-esteem will go good. And then you say, okay, now I am a good person because I have done so much good. And that good feeling comes up. Now you tell them, okay, you have that not unworthy feeling and some worthy feeling. So you feel there is a difference, and then slowly with that act, repeated act of kindness or helping others, it will raise the image of yourself in your own eyes and you start feeling worthy again. So it's a time process.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Sister Claudia. Dr. Sachin Parab, we have Sister Sukanya and Sister Kyoko with us from San Francisco, and they would like to appreciate your efforts to be with us today.
Sukanya, I know she's from Mumbai Center.
Anji, Sachin Bhai, such a knowledgeful lecture. And of course, this was what is expected when you are the speaker. Very, very practical. And this is the situation of the world today, of the souls today at the end of the Kalpa. So thank you for your practical tips. Wonderful. If I ask anything, then again, it will take up time, but maybe some other time.
Sorry to say, interrupt. I have many clients of USA who are doing counseling for me. I just got a call from Canada. I have transferred that person to Anuben in Canada. She is an Indian staying there, but not getting, she has not slept for 3 days, that lady, because of certain things happen. These are confidential things I cannot disclose. But I have many people who call me. They do WhatsApp call from America or Canada.
I'm sure.
So if someone has something, they can straight away call me on WhatsApp, provided you look at Indian times and not your times.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Thank you. Very nice to see you.
So Sukanya and Sister Koyoko are staying with our respected Chandru Didi. Koyoko Ben, you want to say Om Shanti?
Yes, thank you very much, Dr. Sachin. It's very inspirational, your enthusiasm and the knowledge and the love for Baba and all the things that you do for other people. So thank you for being a good example for all of us.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
So Dr. Sachin, for contact detail of Dr. Sachin, please contact Hansaben directly. So if you want Dr. Sachin's contact detail, please contact Hansaben.
I think we should stop here now. I have to prepare my food.
Yes, so we can, yes. Is Hansaben
Thank
still
you so
online?
much, Sachin Bhai, for your valuable time and the wonderful tips. Thank you
And
so
there are
much.
some more questions, but what we will do is we will send you those questions, okay?
Yeah, yeah, we are apologizing that we need to have a hard stop now, but we will definitely
One
convey
question
your
is
question.
left. They are saying one question is left. Is Hema Ben still on the line to say her Om Shanti to Sachin Bhai?
Om Shanti.
Yes.
I don't think
Okay,
so.
all right. I think there are few more questions, but we will, they will contact us and we will forward your WhatsApp number to them, okay?
Thank you
So,
very much.
Hansaben can...
Illness, anxiety, yeah. So there are some more questions and I think best thing is we'll have moment of silence now. And then Dr. Sachin Bhai will be with us on October 3rd again, free from fear, okay? All right. And those who are really in need of counseling, they call me and I will give you the phone number, WhatsApp number of Dr. Sachin, okay? All right, let's have a moment of silence and we will do the loving meditation. That Almighty God, the highest healer, the greatest spiritual counselor, we all are under his canopy. We are being showered his divine rays. And we are soaking on that energy that help us to go back to our awakened consciousness, which is simple and plain and clean. And from today onwards, I will make sure I see myself as God's divine child. And I see others also as God's divine child. And we will create this beautiful reprogramming that can clear up all other programmings. Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti.
Thank you, everyone. And we have mentioned the Hansaben's contact number in the chat box. So please contact her for any further, if you have a question or if you need contact detail of Dr. Sachin. Thank you so much. Have a good night.
Thank you, Sister Hansa.
Thank you so much for joining with us. Appreciate everybody. Good night and God in your dream.
Good night.
Good night. And have a very peaceful, loveful sleep. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you.
Morning staff. Om Shanti. Thank you, Om